Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. We're going to be discussing the short-term price action, the short-term triangle that we discussed in yesterday's video. We're also going to be discussing the importance of this level, and that's very important. The importance of this level and whether or not, and I know this is a question we've asked multiple times over the last week or so, whether or not there is a significant chance of us actually bottoming in this region. The answer is yes, there is a significant chance. Okay, we'll get into that in this video. And then another thing we need to discuss as well is the nature of black swan events, and would we have actually come to this price level to begin with if it wasn't for FTX? And the answer is yes, I think we would have. Let's get into it, guys. So I'll start off by saying that the triangle formation we identified in yesterday's video was wrong. That's my bad. It was completely invalid, because what we have, and the reason why it's invalid isn't because it was drawn incorrectly or anything like this. I drew something like this yesterday. Actually, something like, I can't remember exactly. It was something like that. The reason why it was invalid is because this massive wick we have here on Bitcoin is only actually on the Binance chart. All the other charts don't have that wick. And this is the problem you get sometimes with high volatility. When you see high volatility, you see different exchanges do different things on the charts. And hence, I was drawing it up in the Binance chart, but no other exchange chart actually reflected that. And hence, the triangle obviously wasn't actually valid. It wasn't a valid triangle. It's invalid entirely. And so I've drawn a new one. And this is kind of what I see here for Bitcoin. We have a symmetrical triangle formation. You could say, right, you could go ahead and say, if we go to something like the Bitcoin index, which is the most reliable Bitcoin chart, or one of the most reliable Bitcoin charts, you could draw some sort of pennant, potentially, something like this. It's kind of invalid at this point in time. The point is we have the bottom line quite well, but the top line's a little bit sketchy. We don't really have any clear definitive zone for the top line. You could even say it's an ascending triangle formation, something like that, right? There are arguments to be made there. The point is, for short term right now, it's a little bit kind of sketchy. It's not really any clear structure. I can tell you that it does look like a pennant. The whole structure itself does look like a bearish pennant formation. And the reason I can say that is because, well, we had a massive move to downside, and now we're forming some sort of triangular formation there. Hence, it does look like a bearish pennant, which is not good, right? Bearish pennant formations are bearish, hence the name. They do generally break to the downside. But if I was forced to draw something, I'd draw something like this on Bitcoin, and my overall thesis kind of still stands. I think that if we lose this lower line, we lose this lower yellow level, I do think we'll be trending downwards below 15.6K. And I think that because if we go to the 3-day chart on Bitcoin, we look at the RSI, and we'll do that right now, actually. The 3-day RSI, we are on support on Bitcoin on the 3-day RSI at 34, the number 34. This is the 3-hour. 1 second, let me bring it up. So we can bring up, as you can see, on the RSI, and we'll draw a horizontal line at 34 on the 3-day RSI. Bang. And you can see that every single time on Bitcoin's price history that we've lost to that level, we've actually ended up seeing a huge correction. And right now we're actually testing that level. And so assuming we did go downwards and lose this lower support line on Bitcoin, we would lose that level, and hence we would see a massive correction as per the trend. But, I do think there is a case to be made that perhaps people aren't considering as much as they should, that Bitcoin could actually bottom in this region. I just showed you the 3-day RSI. I just showed you that and how we're on support on the 3-day RSI. I showed you in the price action here, we're on major support. I mean, if we go to the weekly chart, we can really start to identify what support we're sitting on here, because a lot of people seem to think we're just drifting in thin air. It's not necessarily true. If we draw 15.6K, which is the low, and we draw the weekly candle low, actually in the candle close itself at 16.2K, and then we draw the 17.6K level, we can see, just looking back in history here, and let's remove that top level there. We do have support here, okay? This is a place that we've tested in the past, in the 2018 bull market, and also here before we skyrocket above that level and started off the actual bull market in 2020. This is a support level. This is, historically speaking, this is a support level horizontally. Now, it's not a strong support level, by any means, but it is a support, and we do have that support on the 3-day RSI. And looking at the weekly chart RSI, we have a pretty clear bullish divergence. Same thing, again, speaking about the 3-day RSI, we do have a pretty clear bullish divergence here on the 3-day RSI. Same story. So yeah, I do need people to understand. I think it is very important that people do understand that, right now, do I think it's likely we hold this level? Do I think it's likely we go further down on Bitcoin ultimately? Yeah, I do think it's likely, but we need to understand that this is a potential bottoming zone. We are in Q4, as per the 4-year cycle theory. If you believe in that, this is the time in which we'd be looking to find a bottom on Bitcoin, and that's, in my opinion, what Bitcoin is doing. We also need to consider the fact that looking at Ethereum, for example, and more importantly, the total cryptocurrency market cap, we have a bullish MACD cross coming in. The price action has actually gotten lower on candle closes, right? It's lower than it was in June, but we've seen a bullish and positive divergence on the MACD with a bullish cross coming in, and we've got bullish divergence on the RSI as well, while in the meantime, we've formed a massive descending channel structure, right? On support that is actually identified going all the way back to 2018, right? The 2018 all-time high in the total cryptocurrency market cap. So we're on major support from the 2018 total cryptocurrency market cap all-time high. We've also got bullish divergence on both the MACD and the RSI, and we've got a MACD cross incoming as well while we form a double bottom structure. Okay, so, that's what I mean. Let's not act like Bitcoin's super bearish and everything's going to go down and it's all going to, fail and this is nothing. It's like, well, this is actually a level that we need to be considering as a support zone, as a potential bottom zone. I think that's kind of the main point I want to get across in this video. Again, do I think it's likely to go down? Yeah, I think it is likely to go down. But again, I really need people to understand that. If we start heading upwards on Bitcoin, and if we start breaking this local range, and say we get back above 17.6K, which would be getting back above the June low, because the June low was, of course, at 17.6K. If we get back above that level, it's undeniable at that point that Bitcoin's not in a very bad position. Invert the chart. Let's see what that would look like. Well, it would look like this, okay? This is the inverted Bitcoin chart right now. We had a massive period of consolidation. We've moved to the upside. We've got a bullish pennant formation. It does look like we'll go further up. However, if we drop down below and come back down into that range, it looks like this entire move here was a fake out and that was a failed break to the upside, right? We also have descending volume, which means there isn't a massive amount of selling pressure, which means this move is kind of exhausted on Bitcoin. So yeah, I do need people to understand that. That's kind of what I'm going to flip into the main point of this video. I might even put that in the title there. People need to understand that this is a considerable support level, and we will likely be making a decision very shortly. Again, we are in Q4. The 4-year cycle does predict a Q4 bottom. Okay, we're running out of time here. We've got 40 days left. It's not a long period of time, right? And there's only so long that Bitcoin can go sideways like this. I don't think we're going to be seeing another 3-month consolidation at this price level. I think that Bitcoin needs to make another move before that happens. Do I think we'll be seeing consolidation at the bottom? Yes, of course. But if we were to go up here, all right, just hypothetically speaking, if we were to go up here and jump back into this range, start trending upwards, the consolidation at the bottom would have been this entire period here, and that would have been listed as a little fake out there, potentially triggered by the FTX news. So, and then we get into the argument here that I wanted to finish the video off by saying, I want to briefly interrupt this video to talk about the BitGet exchange. Now, the BitGet exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, which is commonly referred to as the cheapest exchange in the cryptocurrency market. It's also non-KYC or voluntarily KYC, so you can stay true to the fundamental values of cryptocurrency, one of which being anonymity, of course. It's also got a security fund in there, so if you lose your funds by fault of the exchange or by personal fault, you can make a claim and actually retrieve your funds back. On top of all of this, if you sign up using my referral link, you can get access to exclusive discounts and rewards. This is the best exchange on the cryptocurrency market, and I use it personally, and so should everyone at the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. Now, if you're interested in actually learning how to trade for yourself, you can check out the Crypto Academy via the website link in the description below. This is a course developed by myself and Megaworld Crypto, a 10-unit course taking you through every single step from step 1 to step infinite about how to become a trader. Go ahead and check that out and chuck us an email at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with the full information and payment information if you're interested. Thanks guys for watching the advertisements. Let's get back into the video. A lot of people say, oh, this wouldn't have happened if FTX didn't collapse. I actually fundamentally disagree with that. I do disagree with that. I don't think that's true. I think that making a claim like that kind of treats the market like it's too random. I don't think the market is random in the slightest. I think every single move has a catalyst. I think that this move would have happened regardless, and I think there would have been a separate catalyst. Now, would it have happened so suddenly? No, right? There would have been a different way to get to this point. There would have been a different event that would have brought us to this point. But I think to a certain extent, things are inbuilt in the charts. And I think to a certain extent, they are pre-programmed, whether it be by market manipulators, again, whether it be by natural price action, natural human psychology. Obviously, things get worse or better depending on events and how things develop. But generally speaking, I do deny And I do push back on the claim that, oh, insert this wouldn't have happened if this didn't happen. I don't believe in that, right? I believe that is treating the market like it's really, really random, like it's almost like a gamble. And again, I fundamentally disagree with that. I think a lot of analysts, you speak to any trader, you speak to any person who's a professional in analyzing the charts and does it full time, I think they'd agree with me. I think that the mindset that, oh, black swan events just happen and there's no way of predicting them and we'd never go to those levels. And, I don't think it's true. I do reject on that. And obviously there are slight exceptions like COVID-19. You could say that was an exception. But the problem is, it's like, what is a black swan event? Right? What is a black swan event? Like COVID-19, yeah, it was unexpected. The lockdown, obviously it was unexpected. Otherwise, it wouldn't have dumped so far in one day. But the point is, it's not like it was completely random. There was build-up. There was a certain percentage of people who were expecting that to happen. There was a build-up in the virus. Same thing with FTX. There was a certain amount of people, very, very intelligent people, right? Maybe, institutions, etc., who have insider knowledge, who expected that to happen and positioned themselves in the market for it to happen and potentially capitalized on the way it played out. So the whole idea of a random black swan event that's completely unpredictable, no one ever knows about it, is completely false. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I don't believe that it was impossible for Bitcoin to have done this without FTX, because I think it was planned to a certain extent. There is a certain amount of orchestration involved in it. So that's my opinion on that. But I'll leave the video there. I know we kind of rambled a lot in this video and covered things we've already covered. I apologize for that. The market is relatively boring right now, believe it or not, as you guys would probably tell. We have been going sideways since June. We did see a small drop here, but ultimately we're not that far below where we were. Okay, we were at 17K. We're at 16K now. So we are kind of just sitting on the sidelines here and waiting for things to happen. This is a time in which I think everyone should take the initiative and learn how to trade. I know, coming from me, who has a TA course, that's a bit of a rich opinion to have. It seems like I've got a conflict of interest there. But I genuinely do think that the time to learn how to trade is when the market is boring. Okay, that's the time, because you're not missing out on much. When the market's pumping, everything's going up, and if you're sitting there learning how to trade, spending hours a day learning how to trade, you could be trading. Okay, you wasted your time during the bear market, and now during the bull market you make less money. So the best investment you can make at this point in time, obviously other than long-term Bitcoin bags, in my opinion, would be actually investment in yourself, an investment in kind of learning how to analyze a market correctly, even at a basic level. So that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.